Hey students, welcome to week 6 of accounting principles. Hey, we're getting closer to the end, a few more weeks to go. So don't start coasting yet. I hope and pray your week is going well. You know, sometimes I forget what Christ did for me. His love, his forgiveness, his mercy, his grace. The song in this week's devotional by David Crowder reminds me, and I hope it reminds you, of the life-changing relationship that we have with our Lord. I hope this song reminds you of the day that you met him. Now listen, if you don't know him, if you haven't met him yet, reach out to a pastor, contact me. I'd be happy to introduce you to Jesus Christ. All right, let's talk about what's coming up this week. This week, we're in the throes of chapter 5. We're in sections 4 through 6, and we're learning about identifying and defining the basic components of financial reporting. And we're learning how to use classified financial statements to evaluate liquidity and profitability. So let's start with talking about the classified balance sheet for just a moment. From this diagram, you can see that the balance sheet is divided into subcategories of like assets and liabilities and the owner's equity. And if you go a little bit further, the subcategories have subcategories shown here on the typical asset sheet. If you look at these different subcategories here, and here for like current assets, and then if you look at liabilities, they all have slightly different subgroups that you have to keep track of. And if you take a look, even owner's equity has some subcategories as well. All those help us to take some different measurements that are important for understanding how a business might work. And remember, you might want to know those categories for an upcoming quiz. I'm pretty sure they're going to be on there. All right, let's take a look at two important measurements that we need to understand as part of assessing the financial status of a business: liquidity and profitability. These are two very different terms, and they give accounting users very different perspectives on a business and how a business is doing. Liquidity measures how much cash a business has on hand to pay debts, to pay employees, like meet payroll, that sort of thing, pay benefits, and buy the necessary supplies and equipment to run the business. Profitability, though, is different. It gives us a different view of the company. It provides an assessment of the ability for the business to earn a sustaining income. Be sure to learn about how these two different measurements are calculated using the classified balance sheet and the income statement. All right, that's it for now. Be sure you pay attention to what's due this week. And remember, God is on his throne. He's always been there. He's always going to be. Have a great week.